is day 3 of Our Take's commitment to our money. And joining us from California is Marilyn Logan. She's joining us via Skype. She is known as the Money Lady. And in her book, I Can't Afford to Marry You, a guide to understanding the true costs of love, she shows us why couples need to have conversations about money long before saying I do. Hi there, Marilyn.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm doing well. I have to tell you, I have been looking forward to this conversation for days. First of all, tell me a little bit about what led you to this book yourself. You have an amazing personal story that ties right into this.
No, I Can't Afford to Marry You, subtitle, A Guide to Understanding the True Cost of Love, are words actually that most people think that I said to someone. But honestly, those are words that were said to me. So imagine 30 days before I'm to say I do in Chicago, invited over 200 people, who's who in Chicago were attending. However, my soon-to-be husband got off a flight coming from Bismarck, North Dakota, and even still today, I have a bad taste in my mouth for Bismarck, North Dakota.
Don't hold it against North Dakota.
And he wanted to talk about my money. Well, I didn't want to have that type of a conversation because I knew at the time, I lived on Lakeshore Drive, and I worked on Michigan Avenue, and you add the two of those together, it equals broke. I spent dime I made. So I Can't Afford to Marry You are words that he said to me 30 days before the wedding.
Ouch.
Found out that I owed everyone.
How is it, Marilyn, that you were even able to keep that from him?
Oh, I'm no different from many other women. I had no idea how many credit cards I actually had. I knew there were double digits. And, you know, I was banking on what many people bank on. You love me. You like me. I'm smart. I'm cute. Aren't I? Isn't that enough?
Yeah.
Well, needless to say, I didn't give any thought to the fact of what life would look like financially after I said I do. And I don't know why it is that he wanted to have this conversation with me a month before the wedding. I don't know if this is his way of saying this is not what I want to do. However, I will tell you that I want your viewers to put a smile on their faces because there was eventually a wedding. However, I had to realize I didn't have a clue of how to manage money, and I had to show up as a student and allow him to be my teacher. And I really do mean allow. I had to swallow my pride and admit that I don't know what I don't know and allow him to teach me because my parents didn't, school didn't, my work environment didn't, he did.
And Marilyn,
you
talk about in your book one of the first steps, if you will, to getting that financial house in order. One of the first things that people need to do is to admit what you don't know. And I would think that that admittance has got to be particularly painful and hard. How do you advise someone? Where does someone even begin? Because to have all of the debt that you had, clearly somewhere inside of you, you had to know that something wasn't right about this. So where do you begin to tell someone or advise someone to admit that there's a problem?
Well, you said that I knew. I didn't know because if your family environment and your friends are doing the exact same thing that you're doing, who's going to be the teacher? So, again, moving forward, to me, managing money is just like having a company. When you have a small company, be it an ice cream shop, a cookie shop, a hair salon, a printing business, whatever, you're looking at funds coming in and funds going out. Well, shift that focus to your own personal life. Can you continue to keep your doors open financially, personally? So do you have more coming in and less going out, or is it just the opposite? Have so much going out and you have very little going in. People lie, the numbers don't. So always keep your eyes on the number. Today is Wednesday and tomorrow is Thursday. Friday is right around the corner. A lot of people are going to get paid on Friday, and by Saturday morning, they're broke. Why is that? Because they didn't really keep their eyes on the numbers. So what I first encourage people to do is admit that you don't know what you don't know. I don't care what your educational background, what your profession is. It doesn't matter. Have someone else to look at your numbers candidly with a fine-tooth comb. How do you spend every dime that you make? And then after you do that, what you do is that you
Get help.
get help. And when I say get help, I'm asking people to get help for a 30 days. Don't develop a 6-month budget or a 12-month budget. That's too long because things will change from month to month. For example, you might have a budget and all of a sudden your both tires on your car goes out. The front 2 tires go out. Well, you didn't budget for that. Well, that's going to disrupt your budget. So have a 30-day budget plan. But the first thing, I don't care how much money you make, how little money you make, it doesn't matter to me. At the top of every budget.
And Marilyn, when you're in a relationship, just the dynamic between the couple in and of itself can manifest if there are financial issues. So you talk about getting help, and you talk about, well, first you talk about admit what you don't know. Secondly, you talk about getting help. If these kinds of conversations, and thirdly, you say follow the plan, if these kinds of conversations about finance exacerbate any stressors that are already in the relationship, I suppose that's clearly your biggest warning sign that maybe saying I do is not the next step.
Well, yeah, of course, because if the money isn't right, people will stop talking to each other. And once you stop talking to each other, people stop making love. And all of a sudden, someone who may weigh 50 pounds more than you do, your husband is more attracted to. Why is that? I think people get together with people and connect with people based on how you make them feel, and people disconnect themselves from people based on how you make them feel. So though you may be pretty and attractive and he's spending his time with someone who's just the opposite, it's because he's not fighting with her about money, and vice versa. It could be a woman situation, too, where the man is totally disrespecting money. Studies have already been shown that people will leave you not because of an affair. They can forgive an affair, but it's very challenging for them to forgive you if you liquidate their savings.
Marilyn, let me ask you, did you write this book for women? I mean, our lifestyles tend to be high cost. We buy dresses, we buy shoes, we need the bag. And we're also eager to get down the aisle. Yeah. So I think that I can't afford to marry you is going to be my new excuse in dating. So thank you for that. But did you write this with women in mind in particular?
No, actually, most men that read the book say that they're the guy in the book, or they aspire to be the guy, or they say, Marilyn, I used to be this type of man. I really did, but I lost my focus. I lost my direction. And most women want to know, does the guy in the book, does he have a brother? And it's
All right, Marilyn Logan, author of I Can't Afford to Marry You, A Guide to Understanding the True Cost of Love, joining us live from California via Skype. Thank you so much, Marilyn, for all of your insights, your financial advice. And like Kelly said, I just might use that excuse too. You know what? I can't afford to date you.
I can't afford to call you.
Right, you just gave a lot of women a pretty good excuse. Thank you so much, Marilyn. And thank you, Kelly. You have been wonderful.
This has been so much fun. It's so good to have a show for us, for our take. I love it.
Well, I certainly hope that you will come back again. You are certainly more than welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely, I got to tell you, good luck to all of your endeavors. What was Trump thinking?
What is Trump ever thinking? It was fun. I think it worked out exactly the way it was supposed to. I had a great ride. I've had a great life since then, and it's been good, so I can't complain.
You know, sometimes we see former, how should I put it, Apprentice alum return in seasons currently in production and such like that. Is the door open where you're concerned in terms of participating in an Apprentice-like type program again, or do you think that phase has passed?
I'm a big fan of reality television, I think, when it's done the right way. I'm very interested in seeing exactly what we talked about today, more opportunities for women to show who they are in a real and broad range way. And so we are having conversations to kind of open up some more doors. So I don't necessarily think that reality television is over for me. It's the Apprentice run. I did that. It was great. But I want to move on to something that's empowering and uplifting and that we can all celebrate and kind of cheer behind. So we'll see.
We'll certainly see, and hopefully there will be a platform and audience for just that kind of reality show.
There will be.
As we discussed, it seems
Absolutely.
like there's no shortage of shows that promote a certain type of image. Let's find a show that certainly promotes the positive image that you bring to the table.
And shows like this will open that door. I mean, the more we talk about it, we generate awareness, and we see women sitting and talking and enjoying each other. We'll begin to realize none of that. You know, it's entertaining. We're having a great time. I hope the audience is having a great time, and we can just continue and spread a movement throughout television.
All right.
Girl power.
Kelly Smith Beaty, guest host for today. Always welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'm Christina Brown, and you are watching Our Take.